A reading from the Gospel of Mark. Now the disciples had forgotten to bring any bread, and they had only one loaf with them in the boat. Jesus cautioned them, saying, "Watch out. Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and the yeast of Herod." They said to one another, "Is it because we have no bread?" And becoming aware of it, Jesus said to them, "Why are you talking about having no bread? Do you still not perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes and fail to see? Do you have ears and fail to hear? Do you not remember? When I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you collect?" They said to him, 12. "And the 7 for the 4,000, how many baskets full of broken pieces did you collect?" And they said to him, 7. Then he said to them, "Do you not yet understand?" As we make our way through this Gospel of Mark, we get to peek in on this private moment with Jesus and his disciples on the boat, having just left an irritating encounter for Jesus with the Pharisees, where despite everything they had seen and heard, they asked, "What can you give us as a sign?" And they report, Jesus groans inwardly and says, "What is it with this generation and the need for signs?" He gets in the boat with his disciples, his closest followers, and starts back across the lake. And here he senses and picks up on when he starts to caution them not to let their thoughts be contaminated by the yeast of, that's what yeast means, contamination, not to be infiltrated by the thinking of the Pharisees and Herod. He's simply saying, watch yourself around those guys. And of course, they turn around and start to freak out because they don't think they have the right amount of bread, and they're worried if Jesus is calling them out on that. This brings a whole new level of frustration to Jesus' lips as he says, "Do you have eyes and not see? Do you have ears and not hear? Do you not remember? Do you not remember? Why are you talking about bread?" Jesus being frustrated with this all too human tendency that we have to be able to glimpse God and glimpse God's glory, God's light, God's healing, God's power, God's miraculous presence, glimpsing those things breaking through in our life, but still needing more concrete affirmation, more signs, still seeming to think, well, if it's not right in front of me, then is it really still true? And Jesus just kind of, you can see him shaking his head and really getting frustrated with his followers. And I wonder if that is true for you and me as well. If Jesus were here with us, would Jesus be astonished that we have seen and heard and known miracles and God's presence and certain showings through of God in our lives? And yet, if someone were to come up and ask us, on what do you base your faith, we suddenly fall unable to articulate anything, or we forget and we doubt ourselves and we doubt God. And Jesus is just saying, just stop and stop moving the goalpost on me. I can't reassure you every single day. I can't show you a new miracle every day. Can you just remember what you've seen and what you've heard and what you've experienced in and through me? So I know that not every one of us feels we've had some sort of theophany or epiphanic moment where we've seen God in some sort of concrete way, but many of us have had experiences of a glimpse of something that feels like the presence of God, or something that we have seen and we have heard and we have known that has given us a sure sense, at least for that moment, that God is with us, that God is real, that God is in this world with us, and sometimes even that we can sense God working through us in this world. Jesus is saying, if you've had that experience, could you please just remember it? And please not ask me to repeat myself quite so often. I know that when we do, we ask for what we need, and surely God would not deny us that. If we truly are in need of reassurance, by all means, we should ask for it. But Jesus is asking us to step up to the plate here and remember what we've seen, remember what we've heard, remember what we know, not only through what the scriptures and tradition and our community has taught us, but what we ourselves have witnessed in our own lives and in the lives of those close to us. So may God be with you in your memory today. May you recall that time where you felt or sensed God drawing close. May you endeavor, as I am going to do on this day, to hold that in the front of my mind and not let it slip so far back, so that I might save my questions for Jesus for some other things, not so much, could you just reassure me that you're real or that this is for real? Remember what I already know, and then let God do something with that confidence and faith that this should instill in me. So may God be with you in your own ponderings in this way. May God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.